gentlemen, please turn in and draw your attention to someone who, you may almost say, he has served Haberdashers man and boy, and he continues to do so with distinction and success now and in the future. Would you please put your hands together for the President of the Association, Mr. Jon Corrall.
Honoured guests, members and friends of the Old Haberdashers Association. It's great to see so many of you here in this wonderful setting, fulfilling one of our most important roles in providing opportunities for old haberdashers to keep in touch. I'm also delighted to welcome guests from different areas of the Haberdashers family. For me, the presidency is the final piece in my Haberdashers jigsaw. A pupil spends 7 years at secondary school. I spent more than 4 pupil careers as a teacher at Haberdashers under 4 different headmasters. Tom Taylor was the only Hill Street headmaster with whom I did not work, and I met him only once. However, as we have heard, and as we know, anyone who knows the school will understand that Tom's spirit and inspiration live on in many aspects of school life. And we must not forget also that he was a very active president of the OHA. It is a great blessing, therefore, that we can enjoy Margaret's company and that she is our guest of honour this evening. She's been a wonderfully loyal supporter of the school and has carried the torch lit by Tom all those years ago for well over half a century now. Margaret, you are the jewel in the Haberdashers crown. Enormously grateful to our main speakers, Jeremy and John, both of whom have played a very significant part in shaping the school as we know it and contributing to my firm belief that I have been enormously lucky to have always had the very best of jobs, surrounded by the best of colleagues and the ablest and most interesting pupils in the very best of schools. As we've already said, as has already been said, the school will be organising its own anniversary celebrations in the autumn, and I know the OHA will be delighted to help where we can to support those. It's also a pleasure to welcome Matthew Judd, who is acting headmaster this term, and Anthony Mayer, the current school captain. Matthew reminded me that the last time we worked together was at either end of a very large settee, as we carried it up 3 flights of narrow stairs to help a colleague move into a new flat on the top floor. There can be no better example of close cooperation and selfless effort so that others can sit more comfortably. The second piece of my jigsaw is my association with the Worshipful Company of Haberdashers. And we're delighted to welcome not only the Master, but also the current Chairman of the Boys School Committee and former school captain, Daniel Hochberg, and 2 active and loyal past chairmen, most recently Deborah Knight, and from the Keith Dawson era, Mike Jeans, who, together with Keith, has always been a terrific supporter of the association. And so the honour of being president of the OHA is the final piece of the jigsaw. We're all part of the Haberdashers family, and we all know that, as with all jigsaws, only when all the different pieces are in place do we get the complete picture. We must all have the same aim in working towards a secure future for the school and its old boys in the widest sense of these words. And I'm most grateful to my committee for their enormous enthusiasm and the activities they organise. We currently look forward to Habs in the City, organised by my predecessor as President, Harry Hyman, and his guest, Jason Zemmel. And also looking forward to a very popular antiques valuation evening. I hope you've got the details of those. And a particular word of thanks to Andrew Tarpey, who has organised this dinner with what I would call Rolls-Royce efficiency, were it not for the fact that he works for Jaguar. All activities which bring old haberdashers together contribute to our Habs big society and reflect our pride in our association with the school. We also must congratulate the sports clubs, and in particular I have an award for the achievements of the OHA rugby teams, a number of whom are present this evening. Sebastian Taylor is captain of the first 15 and also captain of the Swedish national side, which sounds like not only a sporting but also a linguistic challenge. I wonder if the Swedes have words for prop or indeed hooker. This year we have achieved our highest ever league position. First 15 played 23, won 20, lost 3. Second 15 played 10, won 9, lost 1. I have many other statistics worthy of the great Nobly Tanner, who I understand recorded every single try scored by any Old Haberdashers player, and that before the advent of computers. Quite astonishing. To our great satisfaction, mine in particular, because I started my career at one of these schools, we are 2 levels above Old Mill Hillians and 3 levels above And so, in recognition of this, I am pleased to present Seb with this award. Some people have made great efforts to be here. John Davis has come from Kansas, and Peter Oppenheimer has made the dash from Oxford, following on from another commitment. Thank you so much for being here. We're delighted to see you. Because of the ever-increasing outreach and communication, we've received good wishes from many parts of the world. I select one from Dr. Steve Moss, who is probably, even at this moment, closing some deal on Wall Street. He talks about the OHA dinner 40 years ago, when he accompanied Dr. Tom Taylor to the momentous evening when Dr. Taylor announced his retirement. I quote, "8 years at Haberdashers Asks and 1 evening with Dr. Taylor taught me that I should always look forward and never look back. Despite his great achievements, he spoke only of his future plans. Another delightful discovery was that the large boy," I've changed that slightly, "in my class, Toby Harris, who somehow skived off more rugby games than the rest of us put together, now sits in the House of Lords. And deservedly so, for a life of extraordinary public service. But the biggest and best surprise was to find out a few weeks ago that Mr. Carlton is still alive. I imagine that Mr. Carlton is quite pleased too. Mr. Carlton was officially our chemistry master for 5 years, but he was always our life coach first and our chemistry teacher second. We didn't do too badly in chemistry either, and not just because a wrong answer triggered a bop on the head with the textbook. Mr. Carlton, as Child Protection Officer, I do need to have a word with you afterwards. None of us ever wanted to mess up in front of Mr. Carlton. When I was 15 years old and cocky, for some reason which currently escapes me, I used to enjoy pointing out the many differences between what the textbook said and what Mr. Carlton said. But he saw past all of our adolescent bombast, encouraged us to challenge him even more, and drummed into us that if the chemistry of Kleins and Williams is different from the chemistry of Carlton, then the chemistry of Kleins and Williams is wrong. Not one of us thought that that was an arrogant statement. We all knew that it was a metaphor and an instruction in chemistry and in our lives. The conventional wisdom is sometimes wrong, so we need to think for ourselves and be prepared to set it right. Please thank my mentors. The values that they lived by were inspirational and exemplary 40 years ago, and they still are. So a typical Habs mixture of irreverence and respect and affection from an old haberdasher.